Hey, what's up, everybody? YouTube, Reddit, Facebook, wherever else I post this. I'm getting ready to do some work on my Telecaster knockoff guitar, and figured I would do a quick video of it before I do the work and fix the issues that it has to show you. Um, if you're going to be getting one of these, what you should expect to be getting yourself into. This guitar is from the company called Hardluck thimgs. This model is called the Southern Belle. It's what they call their Telecaster style guitar. I mean, it's pretty much your average Telecaster. You got your two tele pickups, your normal covered pickup, your open pickup, your vintage three saddle bridge. However, I have seen some of their guitars that come with a six saddle. Some of their newer ones with black hardware have a six saddle bridge. So you might get a three saddle bridge, you might get a six saddle, depending on what color you get. You have 21 frets. It is a rosewood board, and I really like the grain on the board. I think it's pretty nice looking. You can get those X or cross inlays, whichever you want to call them, and they're like fake mother of pearl. Um, I don't know. That's kind of subjective. If you like them, cool. If not, cool. These are all their guitars have kind of weird inlays, and these are probably the least weird. Their Strat, which they call the bombshell, has little bombs for all the inlays, which I didn't like. And I'm trying to think, their Les Paul they call the Boss Man, and depending on the finish options, if you get like the metallic finish or like the flame maple finishes, they have like diamond inlays, kind of like a Schecter, which look all right. But if you get like the matte finishes, like the army green, the matte black, any of those, they come with brass knuckle inlays, which look really douchey. And on those, you can get like down here for your knobs, you can get like skull knobs, and you can get like this weird skull thing they put back here, which looks super douchey. Um, and then they have a Firebird style guitar called the Spider, and it has spiders for inlays, which looks stupid. The only other two guitars they had that I liked the way they looked were the Flying V, which they called the Outlaw, and it looks like a Gibson V, but um, the headstock was a little different, and I think they had to do that to get around Gibson patents. And the inlays on that are normal dots at all of them except for the 12th fret. The 12th fret has a star, and it's kind of cool. It's like the star in a circle you'd see on like a Sherman tank in World War II. So that's kind of cool looking. And then their Explorer style is called the Lady Luck, and the inlays are little spades, like on an Ace of Spade guitar. But they're small enough that they just look like dots. So anyway, this is the flat black with the glossy black pickguard. They have these in different colors. Sometimes they have some colors in stock. Sometimes they don't. I really wanted, and I'm kicking myself for not getting the. They had like a surf blue or baby blue. I'm trying to think of about the same color as that rag there. They had that in that shade of blue with a white perloid pickguard with a maple fretboard. And I wish I had gotten that, but I think it was an extra $25, which isn't much, but I wanted to get one of these as cheap as I could because I didn't know what I was going to be getting into. So I got these when they were doing a big sale. It was towards the beginning of the year. This was after my taxes that I got one of these. It might have been because they do sales around holidays. I'm trying to think. Maybe it was around Memorial Day. Maybe I don't think it was that late in the year when I got it. Maybe it was a Valentine's Day sale. But anyway, I got it for $100. Well, plus shipping. They charge you $60 for shipping. Which I don't know how I feel about that. I think you could ship a guitar for less than $60. I know you can because I bought other guitars online that have been, $25, $30 shipping. The ESP I have, I paid $350 shipped for that in a case, and shipping was included in the cost of the guitar. So I think they're making a little money off the shipping costs, but they claim that if you don't like the guitar or if you have issues with the guitar, you can ship it back to them for free. That they'll mail you a label, and I know they will because there's been other people, videos I've watched or posts I've read, and they said that I had a lot of people have problems with the frets, and I'll get into that in a little bit with this one because this does have fret issues. They said, I called the company, complained, they mailed me a label the next day, and I shipped it back. They took care of it and sent it back. But let's talk about the company a little bit. So the company is called Hardluck Kings, and they say they're out of Southern California, which, to be fair, I believe their office and like their shipping center and their warehouses in Southern California. And they put that on the back of the guitar. Hardluck Kings, and then right there might be kind of hard to see, but it says Chop Shop Series, which I think that's what they call most of the guitars with the flat black finish. It says designed and backed by Hardluck King, SoCal, USA, and it's got the number. And they always say that these are limited run guitars, that, one of 40 or one of 50 or one of 100. And I find that hard to believe because it's very rare that you see something out of stock on their website, or you'll see a guitar and it says like 2 left, and then you check it a week later and it still says 2 left. So either they're not buying them, or they make a lot more than what people say. Or they make a lot more than what they say they do. So don't think you're getting any super limited or rare guitar. These are not made in the USA, especially not for $100. $100 isn't their normal price. I think depending on the finish and the hardware and stuff, and if you get like some little extras, the most I've ever seen one of their guitars is for $400, and that was one of either the Boss Man or Spiders, and it had Seymour Duncans in it. Some of their guitars they will put Seymour Duncans in, some of them they will put EMGs in, but their models I've never heard of, so I don't know if they're actual Seymour Duncans or EMGs. And because that's another thing, that they say that these come with Diodarios on them, and which, if you look at it right now, it has any balls on it, because I put 10s on it. It came with 9s. I don't really like 9s. And it did have all the different colored balls back here, like you would find on Diodario. It's been a while since I've had Diodario, but I can't remember offhand. Was it like red, purple, green, black, bronze, whatever. But I saw a video from Scott Grove a couple days ago, and he pulled the strings off and compared them to a set of Diodarios he had laying around, and the colors were wrong. I mean, they were the correct, red, purple, green, black, whatever, but the shades were off, like they were like faded. So either there are strings that sit around forever, which can't be good, or they're knockoffs, and I tend to believe that they're knockoffs. So I don't think if you get one of these with Seymour Duncans or EMGs, that there's probably a good chance that they're knockoffs, because the guitars are made in China. Let's just throw that out there right now. They're made in China. Because where else in the world are you going to be able to get a guitar built that you can turn around and sell for $100 and still make money on it? It's got to be China. You couldn't even make one in Indonesia or Korea and turn around and sell it for $100 and make money. That's why Squier moved out of Korea. That's why Epiphone moved out of Korea. That's why all those brands have their entry-level guitars made in China now. Because they can't make money on them if they're made in Korea. Because let's face it, those factories in Korea, Cort and Samick and World Music, are pretty good factories. They make a pretty decent instrument for the money. So anyway, about the company. The guy that owns the company, he worked for DW Drum Workshop. He was some sort of executive. I can't remember the position offhand. This is coming off of what they used to have on their website, and it's no longer on their website. They used to have an About Us tab that explained this whole story. And around 2009, he parted ways with DW. I don't know if he was fired or if he left. The guy kind of seemed like a douche, so I would bet that he was fired. Anyway, whatever. He left and started his own company, Hardluck Kings, and his whole thing is, I know the music industry, I know how I can save you money. And he started Hardluck Kings, and originally, the way all the pricing was, they had 6 models. So they had this, which is the Bombshell, the Southern Belle, which is a Tele. They had the Bombshell, which is a Strat, the Boss Man, which is a Les Paul, the Spider, which is a Firebird, the Lady Luck, which is an Explorer, and the Outlaw, which is a V. And they since then have added 2 basses, which I can't remember what models they are. One's a jazz bass, and one's like a weird, it looks like that X-shaped guitar that Ibanez does, or actually, it looks more like a Jackson Warrior, which is like that X shape. And then they've added what they call a Maverick, which is like an SG, but they've really made this corner of the guitar look weird. It's almost like they just kind of like cut it off like right here and it's at an angle. And the horns are more offset. It doesn't really look right. So anyway, it used to be you could get any one of those guitars in a case shipped to your door for $300, which honestly isn't a bad deal. And I kind of wish they still did it like that. But now is you have to buy the guitar separate and the case separate, and then they charge you for shipping on top of that. And if you buy a guitar and a case, you have to pay shipping for both. So you can't get a guitar and a case shipped to your door for $300 anymore. Well, maybe if you buy one on clearance. Like I said, when I bought this one on clearance, it was $100. Shipping was $60. I think the cases are $60 or $70. And then so you would be at $220 there plus shipping on. Let's say it's another $30 to ship the case. We're looking at $250. So you could maybe do it if you get one on clearance. But I still, that $60 shipping kind of rubs me the wrong way. Okay, so this is an alder body. It's a maple neck rosewood board. As you can see, the headstock is painted and the back of the neck is painted. It is a satin finish though, so it feels similar to like this Jackson neck that is unfinished, which is what I prefer, you know. And this is actually a Charvet body. This is something I'm working on for a friend, but I'll do a video on that later once I finish it. You got, chrome tuners, die cast. They look like Godot tuners, but they're not. And they're pretty bad. They're very notchy. I don't know if that's the best way to describe it, but like if you're, tuning it up, it's like you feel like nothing's happened, and then like clunk, it finally goes. And if you look, it's got the 2 string trees. Get out of the way here. Come on, focus. But if you look at the string trees, they aren't on there straight, and not only that, they are bent. Let's see if I can't get in there better. You see that? They're bent and they're a little banged up. And that's how they came out. Well, I kind of bent the one back into shape. You get a bone nut, or what they claim is a bone nut. And mine, out of the box, I know some other people have complained about this, was sharp on the edges and kind of sharp on the top, and it wasn't cut very well. So I refiled the nut. I'm gonna keep the nut because I think it is a bone nut, or it could be a synthetic bone, but it's not plastic. Because look, I can go like this on it. If that was plastic, that would bend or leave a mark, and it's not. Okay, so what else? It's 21 fret, which was 22, but in this price range, can't be picky. It's a $100 guitar. Well, if you buy it right, normal price is $2 something, but don't pay normal price for one of these. If you're gonna get one of these, wait till it's on clearance and pay $100 for it. Like I said earlier, you have your 2 normal Telly style pickups. The bridge one's hot, and it sounds really familiar. And after I'm done talking about this, we'll go out and we'll play it a little bit. It sounds like something, and I can't quite put my finger on what it sounds like. I think it might be the Seymour Duncan quarter pounder is what that sounds like. You got your normal 3-way switch, 1 volume, 1 tone. The switch is solid. It's a little wiggly back and forth, but that's a pretty solid clunk. It doesn't seem to be any worse or any better than a switch you'd find on any import guitar. And same with the pots. The knobs are a little cheap looking, but again, not any better or worse than anything you would find on an import guitar. What did rub me the wrong way about this is if you can see over here on the control cavity cover, right, where is it? Right here, there's some pitting in the metal. This is a chromed metal piece. There, now you can see it. You see that? That's all pitting in there. That's what looks like to me that this metal piece had been laying around at the factory for a while and got rusty before they chromed it.
And like, dude, I don't like that. That's cheap, and that speaks for the quality control of these guitars. These guitars have the possibility to be nice guitars for the money. They just really need to up their quality control. Like that, this piece ain't that expensive. It's probably 25-cent piece. So why wouldn't you just replace that at the factory? You know. Another thing that's kind of weird. If you can see here on the pick guard, it's a 1-ply, but it's as thick as a 3-ply. And if you look here on the edge, they bevel the edge all the way around the guitar until you get to the back. And then the back is just, well, wait, it is still beveled right there, but you get over here where it goes under the strings. Shoot, you can't really see. But it's just straight up and down. And then as soon as you come out the other side, it's beveled again, and then same around the rest of the guitar. And one thing, sorry, I'm getting over a bit of a cold. I think these pick guards are cut out by hand. Because if you look, it's straight all down there until you get right there, and it's like they're cutting it by hand, and just went like, and so these aren't like machine cut. This is some guy in China is cutting these out by hand, and he slips every once in a while and messes one up. But that's another thing. I'm going to be replacing the pick guard and the control cover. I'm pretty much going to be overhauling most of this guitar, replacing most of the stuff on it. For instance, the tuners, I've got, like I said, these look like Goto tuners, but they're not. They're junk. I'm putting actual Gotos on it. Getting rid of the string trees, those are gone. I'm going to put American standard spring trees with the rollers, because they're cheap and they work. They're like $5, if that. I'm going to keep the nut, because I actually kind of like the nut. Pick guard's going to go, control cavity's going to go, knobs are going to go, pots are going to go. The pots actually aren't bad. I'm not replacing the pots because they need it. I'm replacing it because I'm not crazy about this pickup. It doesn't sound bad, but it could be better. So this pickup's going to go. And over here, I have a set of Repro wide range humbuckers, like what came in the deluxe tellies and custom tellies back in the 70s. I'm going to put one at the bridge. And these are, I've already pulled these out and looked at them, but they're just actual humbucker size. They're not like as big as the original wide range pickups. They're just humbucker size. And I know these things are already routed for humbucker to the neck, because in Scott's video, he hot rods his, and when he pulls the pick guard off, it's like, oh, cool, it's already routed for a humbucker. So I don't have to do any work to the body there, which is nice. And, the body is in nice shape. The finish is decently done. There's a couple little nicks and stuff in the wood, but it's like under the paint. It's like before they painted the body, Chang or whoever was working on this, like, dropped it, put a couple dents in it. And instead of filling those in, they just painted it, so screw it. There are a couple marks along this side, but that's from me. That's from me dropping the guitar once. So that's not on them. That is on me. Okay, one other thing that they claim they do on their website is that they do a fret job on these and professionally set them up. I guess what their definition of a fret job is they go and they just take care of the fret ends, which is good, because some guitars that are worth 10 times the amount of this guitar don't do that. I have seen, American standard Fenders that still have fret sprout, where the frets are grown out past the edge of the fretboard. And if you look, I didn't do these. I didn't do this. These are all polished and very nice looking along the edge. So they do that at their California shop, because I doubt they do that in China. And supposedly they do a setup on it, set the action, set the intonation. Now, they do ship it detuned, so supposedly it doesn't damage the neck. And the neck is damn near flat. It's about as flat as I like it, to be honest. And you can see, I lowered the action down to what it is now. And I like it a little lower. Let's find the 12th fret. There it is. Okay. You see where that action is? That's a little high for me. It's not bad, it's playable, but it was higher than that when I got the guitar. It was probably about like that. And the reasoning behind that is There's a crap ton of dead frets past the 12th fret. Before the 12th fret, it's fine. You can play everything back here. You can actually put the, if I wanted to, like let's say the frets were good, I could put the, well, that's all the way down, but I could probably put the action like right about there, and it would be fine. But there's a bunch of dead frets, and I'll show that when I go up to play the guitar. But basically, like if we were to go like right here, try and, all right, that one's not dead, but. All right, so right there, that one's dead. You hear that? You hear that? That's pretty bad. That's even worse. So I'm gonna have to do a fret level on this. I could probably get away with just doing it from the 12th fret up, but I'm gonna do the whole thing because why not? Not gonna take that much more work. Now to give them credit, like I said, the edges of the frets are polished very nicely. They don't stick out past the fretboard. And that feels better than a lot more expensive guitars I've played. But, to be fair, this Jackson neck, which I bought off of eBay for $100, and it's off of whatever range is made in India, which I think is like the JS. So those are inexpensive guitars, $300 and less, basically. It also doesn't have any frets protruding past the fretboard. So, who knows, maybe they did do that in China. The only problem with this neck is, I think the reason why I got it so cheap, there's a chunk, the rosewood missing right there. Does not affect playability, however. It's just cosmetic. Also, the intonation was about as good as you can get it with one of these 3 saddle bridges. So, I like the way this pickup sounds. Not crazy about this one. So, like I said, I'm going to put that wide range humbucker in here, and that's why I'm changing the pots. Because I've heard that those wide range pickups sound really, really muddy with the 250K pot. So I'm putting in, I have Fender, which are I think just CTS, rebranded CTS pots, 500K. I'll put a normal 500K for the volume. I'm going to do a push-pull for the tone, so I can wire up the pickup to do single coil or humbucking. Best of both worlds. And then I'm replacing the pickguard and control cavity cover with a brushed metal piece I have over here. I bought this from a vendor on eBay. I can't remember his name. It might be on here. I don't know. I just think it looks cool. It's brushed metal, and I think that will match pretty well with the flat black. Kind of like a hot rod vibe. So, that's about it for this portion. I'm going to go plug it in. We'll go plug it in my 6505 and see how it sounds. So, I will see you in a minute. Okay, we're out of the workshop. We're into a family room where I have all my guitars and stuff. And we'll go ahead and give this guy listen to, see how it sounds. We'll do some clean, we'll do some dirty. I'm going to preface this by saying I'm not a very good player, and I'm not a normal telly player. I am a metalhead. I play Jacksons and ESPs mostly. I don't know, I've been out from time to time, so, I bought this just because I kind of like tellies and wanted to have one kicking around. So, and honestly, I think that's probably the best way to buy these guitars. Like, if you're a beginner, don't get one of these because it's going to need a lot of work out of the box. You're not going to be able to play it out of the box. It's going to need work. Mine needs fret work. Some other people have said that there's some electronic work, like the Les Pauls and stuff. Sometimes they'll have both volumes wired together, so you can't, roll one volume off and then flip it to the other pickup and have like a kill switch. Or I've seen them where they haven't been grounded right. For instance, they're not shielded, so sometimes you get buzzing issues. Fortunately here, like, I have my amp up decently loud. Let's see. We're on the clean channel, the 6505 combo, 60 watt, 112. Speaker's been replaced. It's got an EVM 12H speaker, 200 watts, that huge magnet on it. I like it. It moves a lot of air, and doesn't sound as brittle as the stock speaker. Plus, it's just better construction. Stock PV speakers tend to start to come apart and rattle, so that's why I replaced it. But alright, so on the clean channel, we've got pre and post gain at 3. I have the reverb off on the amp, because I don't like the reverb on this amp. It's not very good. So reverb is coming from TC Electronic Arena Verb. We've got it on the plate setting. So this is what it sounds like clean. Bridge pickup. Sorry, I had the crunch on, my bad. So this is clean. Middle pickup. Dark. Not as dark as some of those old 50s Fenders with that weird bass circuit they had on them, but it's still kind of dark, and that's why I'm going to replace it. But, you know, I've got all the EQs are equal. It's 5 all across in both channels. I mean, it sounds like a normal Tele neck pickup, I guess. It's just not 100% what I was looking for. I like the middle. It's a nice. It's not super bright, but it's not super dark. You know, it's nice for cleans. Where this is just a little muted. I mean, I guess it'd be nice for leads, doing like a bluesy thing, like stuff like that. It doesn't sound bad. So yeah, the bridge sounds alright. Clean, does a little better dirty. We'll do a little bit of crunch here. Middle. Again, that middle position sounds really good. Neck sounds decent with dry up on it. So yeah, it don't sound too bad. Let me show you some of those dead frets I was talking about while I'm thinking about it. So that one's fine. A little bit of buzzing. Right there. You hear that? You hear that? That one's real bad. That fret's basically dead. So the 20th fret on the high E string, it's too low. That or the 21st fret's too high. So when you fret it down, it's almost like you're still fretting the 21st. And it has that issue. I'm trying to think, it's like I think right here, if I try and do a bend on the G string, yeah, the 19th fret, if I try and bend this, it dies. That's not good. I can bend the 17th, it don't die. Bend the 18th and it don't die. But that 19th, as soon as you try and bend, it dies.
same if you try to bend the B up, it dies too. So it definitely has some fret issues up here in the higher frets. But again, I swear, I can swear I've heard this bridge pickup in something else. And I think this is probably like a cheap copy of a Seymour Duncan quarter pounder. That's kind of what it's kind of what it sounds like to me. I could be wrong. If you can think of what it sounds like, let me know. But here, we'll throw a little more gain on it. You know, why not? I don't know, it's got a nice sound to it. That's why I'm going to keep that bridge pickup. I'm not going to bother changing it out. But these pickups aren't incredibly noisy. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's, you know, if I turn my, that's mainly from the amp. That ain't really even from the guitar. If I turn my boost off and the crunch off, just have the crunch on, almost no noise. Yeah, we can get a little noise when you put it close to the amp, but yeah, what the hell? Let's go to the lead channel. Even with a lot of gain, it doesn't sound too bad. It gets a little feedbacky under high gain, but I think that's to be expected with single coils, you know, especially on a guitar that's not shielded. But it sounds alright. So yeah, I like the bridge pickup. Not crazy about the neck, but it don't sound bad. I've heard worse neck sounding pickups on lower end tellies. But again, if you're expecting this thing to be fantastic out of the box, it ain't gonna be. You're gonna have to put some work into it. You're gonna either have to do some electrical work on it or some fret work or both. But I look at it this way. You know, I got the guitar for $100, and I have, you know, a bunch of parts sitting on the bench in there that was not even $150 in parts. You know, replacing the tuners, the trees, the bridge, one of the pickups, and some of the electronics. And it's so all in all, I will have, you know, by the time you factor in shipping and everything, $260 invested in this guitar, which ain't bad. I mean, what else can you get for $260? Some of the Squires, like I was looking at the Classic Vibe series, those were what, $475 brand new. The Fender Classic Player is $500, or I'm sorry, the Fender Modern Player is $500 brand new. The Mexican ones are $500. So brand new, you can't really get a guitar, you know, for under $300. With some, and by the time I'm done with this, it'll have some cool stuff on it. I'll go to tuners. It'll have some Fender standard American parts. I'll have a 6-saddle bridge with brass saddles. We'll have, you know, the pickups that I want in it, and wired how I want it. So I'll have essentially a semi-custom guitar for under $300. Granted, it won't look the way I want it. Like I said, I'm not crazy about the flat black, and I'm really kicking myself for not getting that baby blue with the maple neck, because originally when I wanted to get a cheap Telecaster, I was like, oh, I'll get one of those Fender Modern Players. So they're kind of cool. You know, $500 brand new. I was like, I should be able to get one for under $300 used. Couldn't find one. Everybody just wanted $400 or more for them used. And I thought, okay, I'll get a Squire Classic 5. Same thing. They're almost $500 brand new. Couldn't find one for under $300 used. So I was like, I'll build one. By the time I priced one out,
getting all the stuff from BYO guitar, build your own guitar, because they offer, you can get a standard kit, but then you can option stuff out. Like you can get, you know, a 6 saddle, like standard is 3 saddle bridge, but you can get a 6 saddle for extra money. You can get Grover locking tuners for extra money. You can get the roller lockers. You can get different pickups, different electronics, different woods and stuff. And by the time I spec, it was going to be almost $300 spec'd out that way, which is, you know, it's not bad. And I was willing to spend that money. I was willing to buy the guitar and put it together and paint it, because, you know, they're unpainted. But I kept seeing these pop up in my news feed, and I thought, well, I'll take a chance on $100 and see what happens. And it's not, like I said, it's not a bad deal for $100. I think it's better than like the Squire Bullet series you would get for $100. You know, some of those like real cheap, like the ones that come in like the pack with the amp and the bag for like $200. I think it has potential to be a better guitar than those, because it sounds good. If they could just, you know, get the nut done right at the factory so it stays in tune, and get the string trees done right, maybe put some slightly better tuners on here. I mean, they don't have to be name brand. They can put like them Planet Wave ones from D'Addario on there, because they're like $20, you know. And if they could do that, make it stay in tune a little bit better, and do a better job with the frets. Like, I don't care if the intonation is set or if the action is set. Most people are going to adjust that to how they like it anyway. So to me, that don't matter out of the box. But, you know, if they did a better job, if they leveled the frets and put better tuners on it and did the nut better, I'd say it could easily be as good as anything else in the $500 to $600 guitar price range. And I would even pay, like let's say they did all that stuff, you know, they do a better job with fret work, they put better tuners on it, better nut. I would easily pay $300 or $400 for it. But the way they're currently making them, wait till they're on sale for $100 or $150. Get one if you want. Like I said, I think they're kind of cool. Like if, you know, I'm a metalhead, I mostly play, you know, I have a Jackson and I have an ESP and then I have a parts bin Strat that I threw together. But, you know, that's what I mostly play is a Jackson with high output Seymour Duncans or an ESP with active VMGs in it. So those are kind of one-trick ponies. They do metal and they do metal very well. But if I want something else, you know, that's kind of why I got this, because I'm not going to play it a lot, but like if I feel like, hey, maybe I'll, you know, learn a couple blues licks today or something, I'll pick this up, you know. And the same can be said for other guitars. Maybe you're a Strat player or a Tele player most of the time, and you have a really nice Fender, you know, deluxe Strat, you know, something that's like $1,500. But you kind of like a Les Paul, but you're not going to play it all the time. Maybe pick one of them up. Because then you could put whatever pickups in it you want, if you don't like the stock ones, and you could, you know, learn how to work on guitars a little bit. But if you don't want to work on guitars, if you don't like doing that type of stuff, you're not good at it, don't get one, because you're going to have to put work into it, and you're going to have to take it somewhere and pay somebody, and labor ain't cheap these days. You're going to, you know, like let's say you take this, don't take it to Guitar Center, because they probably don't have people there that know what they're doing. Take it to like an actual guitar luthier. He's going to charge you a decent amount of money. So like do a front level, it's like $200. So do you really want to put $200 into a guitar that is worth $100? Like, to be honest, you're not going to be able to turn on and sell this thing and get your money back. So if you buy it, you're going to hang on to it for a while. So don't get one unless it's something you want to hang on to, something you want to put a little work and time and effort of your own into. Because, like I said, it ain't worth it to take it somewhere and get it done, because you're not ever going to make your money back. And it ain't going to play right out of the box. But, like I said, it has potential to be a good guitar. So that's one of the reasons why I got these, because I figured there's going to be worse issues with them, honestly. I figured that, okay, I thought, well, for $100, I'll have a body and a neck, and I'll just scrap everything else. But that, you know, that ain't the case. I'm keeping the nut, keeping one of the pickups, keeping the switch, you know, just gotta level the frets, put the tuners on it, and put the pickup and the pots in it. And that's not a lot of work, you know. It is, but it isn't. It could be worse. You know, I'm not having to, you know, the neck is straight. It's not like I'm having a truss rod that won't work, and I gotta like pull the fretboard off and put a truss rod in it. You know, it's nothing bad, nothing crazy like that, but still, it's just, you know, gives me a chance to work on a guitar kind of practice doing some stuff I normally wouldn't have to do. But anyway, if you found this useful, cool. If not, cool. I don't really care. You know, it doesn't matter to me if you like the video or not. It even can hurt my feelings if you downvote this, or if you call me a troll or something in the comments, and it ain't really gonna, you know, you ain't gonna bust my balls, man. But if you find this useful, let me know. I plan on doing a couple more videos in the future. I still have that Strat with the pickups in it that I got off Amazon I need to do, but I was looking at it the other day, and either the bridge or the neck is slightly off center because a couple of the strings don't line up perfectly with the pickups, and I want to fix that before I do a sound video, because it ain't gonna sound right if the strings aren't over the magnets. But so I still want to do a part 2 for that. I want to do a video for the amp at my 6505 at some point, because I've done a lot of mods to it. Aside from swapping out the speakers, I have some different tubes in it, and I've changed some of the circuitry inside the amp to fix like the effects loop, and to try and help clean up the amp a little bit on the clean channel, because they are notoriously not very good clean amps. So I think eventually at some point I'm going to do a video on that, probably with my ESP, my Jackson, you know, for more of the metalhead guys, I guess. And I might do a video on my one bass, because that was acquired bass. I've done a bunch of mods on, you know, different pickups, different bridge, different electronics, different nut, different tuners. You know, so at that point, is it really a Squire? But so yeah, if you like what you see, cool. Not, you know, whatever. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later, I guess.